What is up, my Lorcana Goons? It is Friday, November 10th. We're here with the Market Watch with Zach Stone, and we're going to talk about some Lorcana stuff today. So, how are we doing, Zach Stone? I do want to say before we start, though, give a big shout out to our Discord community. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, and join our Discord because we have some new cards that were just revealed, and we have our boy Saucy on it. So, shout out Saucy, shout out Brother Craig, shout out Frodato, shout out everybody in our Lorcana Goons Discord. You guys are all goons for keeping us up to date on these cards that are coming out, right, Zach? So, good morning. How you doing, Zach Stone, owner of Stone Brand Cards, a professional card salesman?
Hey, thank you very much, guys. I just wanted to let you guys know we got 83% of you guys that watch our Market Watch videos not subscribed to the channel. That is more than, like how much water there is on compared to an Earth, and that's kind of crazy to me. So go ahead and subscribe, guys. We got plenty more content for you, new card reveals, and don't forget some box openings because when we get our new product in, we're going to be opening some boxes for you guys.
That's if we can get that new product in, right? Because the demand is crazy, even though the supply is super high right now. Check out these prices, Zach. The market is crashing. I'll be frank with everybody. These booster box prices have gone way down. They were at the 300 plus dollar mark, selling for around 350, and now they're as low as 235 by 217 CCG. Shout out you guys for this low, low, low booster box price. I mean, some people refuse to pay more than MSRP, and right here, this is around like a what, 250, $260 box after taxes. This is what you and me paid on that very first day of Lorcana. We paid 260 for our booster boxes back in August, right? To me, seems like a reasonable price. I know a lot of people are going to disagree with that opinion. What do you think? What's going on with the market and these reprints, Zach Stone?
I think a lot of stores are just getting their wave two, quote unquote. But these are reprint boxes. These have different flavor text in some of them. They've errated some of the cards just to specify new things. But there seems to be a decent amount of supply now. Just always remember, guys, on TCG Player, the seller doesn't get what they are listing it at. There is taxes that you have to pay on top of that, and then there is fees taken out. They get about 83% of what they sell it for. So just keep that in mind, guys. If you're not subscribed, it's 83% money back to the seller on TCG Player. So they're not even getting the whole $230 something dollars. And there are plenty of people that have boasted about getting boxes as cheap as $175 on the
Hmm.
most recent release of the reprint wave.
Yeah.
So keep in mind, guys, there's plenty of prices to shop around on. And if your area is scarce, then yeah, TCG Player seems like a good source because you can always guarantee your money back if things go wrong.
Yeah, like we're in California, and like you said it earlier, we're not that far from Disneyland, so I feel like we're accustomed to certain things like this selling out, especially with other card games. So, like I said, to me, paying more than MSRP is something I'm used to. But there were some sales that were happening as low as 210 on TCG Player for a couple hours on that day, November 8th, but now it's averaging back out to like 240, 250, and we don't know where it's gonna go because, like I said, the demand is super high for this game. So, you guys let us know if you're gonna be buying these boxes, if you've had any luck finding packs at MSRP, or what your plan is for Lorcana, because Chapter 2 is on its way, and we got to remind you guys to not buy these pre-orders, especially not the gift sets. I mean, you can buy them, do what you want with your money, but I don't think they're going to be worth $300 for these gift sets, not especially when the current gift set for Chapter 1 is still having a resale value of around $70 on a good day, in my opinion, these haven't gotten reprinted yet, but these were restocked at Disneyland theme parks, and I do believe they're probably going to try and restock these again. But even at its peak, it's nowhere near this $300 mark for this Disney 100-year anniversary collector's edition gift set. It just doesn't seem like it's worth it. It only comes with 4 packs. What do you think, Zach?
You do get the 6 cards that are more of the full art rarities, similar to the enchanted rares that we have. However, they are guaranteed in every single one. And to be honest, guys, um, there is a increased cost for distributors on the collector's edition compared to the chapter one, the first chapter gift sets. But they're not this much to deserve a $300 resale value. So there's no way that is a genuine price. And I believe that there's just going to be a dramatic decrease when stores are allocated in their for their inventory.
Yep. And that goes for pre-orders on singles as well. TCG Player has some singles listed for the cards from Rise of the Floodborn, like the legendary Bell, Hidden Archer, at like near $90. And we also have a legendary Alice, which was just revealed yesterday. People are listing it at $75 for the lowest non-foil legendary. It's not going to be that high, especially when the highest legendary we have right now for the first chapter is now nearing lows of like $48. Check out this Rapunzel Zack Stone. Rapunzel, gifted with healing, no longer a $60 legendary. The non-foil is going to be less than $50, with plenty of verified sellers having it at $48, Yeah, we can go to the highest with the 5,000 sales. Blast Off Gaming, shout out you guys, but it's still $50 with 95 cents. So Rapunzel no longer in that super high of like $60 to $70 for the non-foil legendary. Now it's about $50. Still kind of expensive, but there's a lot more listings now. There's 97 listings, bro. But we're not talking about Rapunzel because Limbo is what's going to be dictating today's market watch. Check this out. Lilo going all the way down to $5 and bringing the entire market with it. The resellers are in shambles. The people who have been hoarding the boxes are shaking. You know what I mean? The scalpers are hiding under their bed. They don't know what to do with their boxes. You know, they pay too high and now they got to get rid of the singles. And look at these prices. What do you think, man? Everything is low. Good time to build a deck, in my opinion. Limbo bringing down the entire market because look at all these legendaries. Bell, less than $30 now. We have Stitch, less than $30 now. We have Hades, less than $30 now. What's going on, Zack Stone? What's going on?
Well, we have a resupply of cards, and I gotta admit, these prices are not what somebody like myself likes to see, because I definitely have bought in some of these cards at higher prices than what they're selling at right now. And if I'm being honest, guys, there's going to be a interesting turn, I think, in the next week or two. There is a resupply right now, and we know what happens when cards start to go off the shelf, and there's less and less product available. Plus, a lot of stores that got their resupply didn't just directly sell it at their store. They kind of they sold it for a lot more, and there's not like any specific stores I know of, or any of them that I want to talk about like directly. I just know that I've heard stories of online. You can say allegations at this point. However, there seems to be a common trend with stores that like have had a lot of store credit accumulated for Lorcana tournaments that now are not looking to have to relinquish all of their product just to the people that want to spend their store credit. They're kind of realizing what loss they'll take doing that.
Yeah, it's a pretty wild game right now. But in general, though, I think it's good for the consumers, right? And if you want sealed product, it's always going to be hard to find. But if you want to play the game and you've been playing like with proxies, or you've been playing with Pixelborn or something, and you actually want to build your deck, it's a great time, I think, to build your deck, especially when cards like Stitch, are no longer in that $40 range. They're less than $30, and you can find some for like that $25, $26 range. It's such a big difference in price. The cold foils, though, I do want to point out, are keeping their value. Let's just go ahead and check out these cold foil prices, because we do have some collectors in the chat. I personally like holding on to some foils, and it's pretty cool to see that the cold foil Surfer Stitch is still around that $70 mark. So $72.99 by Game Gear as the lowest verified with more than 2,000 sales is going to be $72.99 for a cold foil Stitch. That's pretty hype in my opinion. The Rapunzel as well is a little bit high too. That one's around like more than 100, almost $100 for the lowest verified for the foil. The Hades foil is still pretty high. I like this one. There's still not that many listings for foil Hades either, and these are going to be as high as $50, for a foil Hades, which is pretty cool in my opinion. Maleficent Dragon and Elsa are less than $30 as well. These are around that $25 mark now. Kind of crazy. John Silver, the Alien Pirate, is going to be around $20 for this legendary. This guy was hitting highs as $30, even more than $30 at one point for the non foil, and now it's about 1885 by XX Real XX. Thank you for dictating this price today. 1885, lowest verified right there. The cold foil John Silver though, keeping some value in my opinion. It's gonna be $40 by Enchanted Finds for the lowest verified. So some of these cold foils are definitely keeping their value. So if you've been hollowing out your deck, on the last couple weeks, I think you're fine. I do feel though, like if you were paying high prices for cards, I hope you got what you wanted out of them. I hope you were able to play some tournaments, play with your friends, even if you're just collecting them, you finished your sets. I do feel like this market is extremely volatile, but eventually, the chapter 1 is going to be a memory, and it's going to be hard to find mint condition cards for this game at some point in time, right? It's always going to be in demand. So good luck trying to find chapter 2 and other sealed products. The Mickey Mouse Brave Little Tailor, look at this low. It's going to be as low as $13, and the cold foils are going to be around $40ish, which is kind of cool. Overall, the market is in a good place right now if you want to play the game. Cuscos are going to be less than $12. We have Chile Peach 18 with 11.49 for your rare Cuscos today. Even the foil Cuscos dipped a little bit. These are going to be less than $20 now for the foil Cuscos, which I think is kind of wild in my opinion. A Whole New World is a staple that I think gets better in chapter 2 as well. Less than $10 now. They used to be $15, and now they're going to be around $8.50 by Medic Mike's Card Store. So A Whole New World, Fallen, pretty nice, pretty nice. Stitch Rockstar, look at Stitch Rockstar, dude. This character was around $12, $15, even $20 at one point at its peak. Now they are less than $10. You can find them by Enchanted Finds for $8.88. Gotta love it. Gotta love to see it. Are you gonna be buying any cards any card like this, Zach Stone? Any cards you need for your decks?
I need some foils actually. So one thing I'm learning to bite the bullet on is a Carefree Surfer Stitch foil. I got 3 and I need a 4th. But a lot of the cards that I have, I kind of gotten more early on. I went really heavy into the game, as you already know. So yeah, like there is going to be some points where I'm going to have to look at a card and I'm going to have to kind of say like, well, if I sell it, I got to sell it at a loss, and that's something I got to like think about. And generally when I'm in that situation, I try not to sell at a loss, and there are a lot of people that will support me, and it's more because they know that it's going to somebody that at least wants to like reinvest back into the game more and have more cards to redistribute back into the market, and that is what someone in my situation does. Is I whenever I buy in stuff, there is an incentive for me to redistribute it back out into the market, and that is truly just the burden that I take on in this economy right now.
No, of course, man. It is a business, and this is why I have you on, because you are a professional card seller. This is how you make your living and pay your taxes, and I love it. I love getting your insight. I really appreciate it, because me, as someone who does this as a hobby, I have a certain kind of perspective, but hearing you as someone who uses this to pay your bills, you keep it real. And there's a lot of misconceptions about how the card economy works, and I like hearing your insight. Some people want to be able to sell everything at MSRP. Some people don't even have distribution access. You don't have access to any distro for Lorcana, which a lot of people might assume you might, just because you have like a flourishing card business. But the game has just been so hard for so many people to get, man. But it's so cool to see these prices for these staples kind of take a nosedive, because it just makes them affordable. Like Be Prepareds are no longer $10 rares. They have them at $6.50 right here by Monkey King Cards. Shout out you guys. Let It Go as well. These were like $9 to $10. We have them for $5.18 by Oliver Shops. Shout out you guys for this low price on Let It Go. Tinkerbell, the highest pricing super rare in the first chapter, is no longer a $25 rare. Nope, no longer a $20 super rare. No, not even a $15 super rare. We have them as low as $13 by Jab's Collection. He got 500 sales, but that's cool. $13. I would buy from him. Just because that's a come up in my opinion. That's a pretty good price for a Tinkerbell Giant Fairy. This card is always going to be nice. And then we have Hans Scheming Prince. Check this guy out. Remember, this was a $10 rare for a really long time, and there was a point in time as well where I was like bugging, and I was like, hey, why is the $10 rare the same price as the foil version of it? They were both like $10, $9, $11, and they were so close to each other. And looky, now that we've had these big old reprints, bam, the Hans has fallen all the way down to $3, $4, but the foil is still keeping its pricing at around $10 to $11, which is pretty cool to see. I was saying, like, why not just foil out your Hans if you're going to be paying $10 for a non-foil anyways? Why not just pay $11 for the foil? And now the foil has kept its price, with Monkey King cards having it as low as $10.50, whereas the rare was all the way down to like $4. You know, there are some other cool foils that have been keeping their price, like Lantern. The Lantern, you know, before the reprints came, was around $10 for the foil, and right now it's still around $8 to $9 for the foil. Even the non-foils are around $4, which is pretty cool. So that's a nice spread of pool. But the foils are going to be as low as $8 with the dollar shipping, or $9.98 by Experience Gaming Lounge with 5,000 sales. So shout out you guys. Foil Gontus are still kind of up there. You know, these had a buyout earlier in the year. I want to say a couple weeks ago, these had a buyout, and I thought they were gonna fall because the beast fell all the way to $20. But check out these foil Gontus, $22, lowest verified. You know, Enchanted Finds. Shout out you guys. Big Boy Gaming TCG, $22, next verified. So enchanted, I mean, sorry, foil legendaries, pretty cool, keeping their price. Foil Maui, these are gonna be a little bit higher than what they are for the non-foil, which is always a good pool. You know, $7 for the foil Maui. If you guys have these in your trade binder, make sure you're getting the value out of these guys. Make sure you're getting that value, or make sure you're paying the right prices when you're doing some shopping. You know, it's all about doing some smart shopping over here. The cold foil Dragonfires are going to be $5 basically still. So that's pretty cool. These are some foils that have kept their basically kept their pricing, their good pricing since the first chapter reprints, and I'm glad to see it. But some cards that have made a huge drastic fall as well are the enchanted foils. Check this out, Zach. The Elsa Enchanted is no longer $600. It's selling for around $575. So that's pretty wild. We have some Northern Lights MTG selling it for $576, dictating this lowest verified seller today. That's kind of wild, man. The enchanted rares, you know, are these gonna hold value? Is it gonna go lower? Is it gonna go higher? What do you think?
For the enchanted rares, I believe there's going to say a decline in demand on those. I think a lot of that already want them have them, and there is a lot of incentive for people to pick them up at a lower price, and I think there is a good opportunity to get them now, but also I think even a better one later. That some of them can still even go lower. I believe Elsa might hit like as low as 450. I don't think that one's going to be any cheaper than that. I think the waifu tax is real.
Okay,
Outside
okay.
of that, you can see some other ones kind of like stay like in the $200 range based on their playability.
Yeah, Hades being kind of the low end of that, kind of reaching as low as $120 for the Enchanted Hades. Sparkling City TCG having it here. $120 for an Enchanted Hades. This is the one that's not played at all, I think, in the metagame. This is just more like, if you want it, you want it. This is going to be the cheapest Enchanted rare, which is kind of interesting because the foil Rapunzel was about as expensive as this Enchanted Hades at one point. And we even have some sales for the Enchanted Elsa that have been PSA graded, that are been dipping as well. So the PSA 10 Enchanted Elsa today sold for $890 in an eBay bid, and there was a couple more sales that were happening this weekend. There's a Beckett 10 Enchanted Elsa that sold for $999, basically $1,000. So the Enchanted Elsa PSA graded is now hitting as low as the high that the Raw had, right? Because the Raw was selling for about $1,000 at one point, and now the PSA 10 is selling for that, right? It's a pretty hefty difference. We knew the reprints were coming. We knew this was happening at some point, right? It was bound to happen. The biggest difference, I think, with like getting something like this graded, or getting like old Pokemon cards graded, is the fact that this game is new and people open these packs and they're very aware that you can get them PSA graded, and that's the first thing they do. There's going to be plenty of PSA 10 Elsas to go around for a while, I think. So many people get these cards graded, guys. It's not a novelty like the way you think it is. But what is a novelty are the D23 promo cards, because these have an exact limited printing. There's not that many in general, and these PSA graded I think are the creme de la creme of Lorcana. So we have a PSA 10 Rockstar Stitch that sold yesterday for $2,900. Then we have a PSA 10 Maleficent Monstrous Dragon that sold on November 7th for $2,875. That's pretty wild. I think that's higher than what it was before. That's the most recent comp, like one of the highest ones I've seen. And then we have a D23 PSA 9 Elsa selling for $3,500 on November 7th. That's a little lower, but given some taxes, that's around the market price, I think. Like 35 to 4,000 for the PSA 9 Elsa is what I've seen recently. And then we also have a PSA 10 Rockstar Stitch that sold earlier for $2,400. So after that 24, Rockstar Stitch did have a higher bump to 29. So if you have this card, it looks like it's climbing up in price a little bit. I think Rockstar Stitch, Elsa, and Maleficent Monstrous Dragons are my personal favorites for the top D23 promos, mainly because of their meta capabilities and their overall novelty with like the Disney characters and like how people like them. People love Stitch. It's kind of crazy, you know?
There is a huge collectability still in the game, and you got to understand that people like collect Disney memorabilia.
Yeah, but one more thing I do want to go over, Zach Stone, is Befuddle, because Befuddle had its errata, right? After its errata, we knew that the foil Befuddle started selling for around $20 because the reprint was going to have a different text, right? The original one was going to be from the first wave and has different text, but if you look on TCG Player now, the foils are still selling for around $9 to $10, but there's no way to tell whether or not you're going to be getting a foil Befuddle from the first wave or the reprints of Chapter 1. I think it's kind of weird that these are still priced like this on TCG Player, and if you're looking to hollow out your deck and you didn't know about the reprints, I would hold off on buying these from TCG Player. Look for these in person and make sure you're getting the right one, because if you're going to get the one that is pre-errata, then yeah, sure, pay $10 if you want this foil Befuddle. But if you're just going to get a foil Befuddle from the reprints, there's no reason to pay more than like $3. You know what I mean? TCG Player needs to update this. It's the same issue with the Work Together that has the Pacha misspelling. Those foils are still going for around $3 on TCG Player, but there's no way to tell whether or not you're going to be getting one from the reprint or from the original wave of Chapter 1. So I do want to point that out. Make sure you know which one you're getting and which one you're paying for. And if you have Befuddles that are foil, make sure you're pricing them right, because you want to make sure you're getting that value, that $10 value. If you have a $10 Befuddle, or you know, if you're going to trade and you want to make sure you're getting your money's worth, you know, you don't want somebody to price out a $10 Befuddle when it's really a $3 Befuddle. So, you know, key little differences. So make sure you do your own research. But that is all we have to go over today on Friday's Market Watch. Remember, guys, we do these Market Watches twice a week on Monday and Friday. This has been Lorcana Goons. We really appreciate you guys. Anything you want to say, Zach Stone, before we call it a day?
Hey guys, big shout outs to anybody here that's been following the channel since the beginning. You know, we appreciate the growth. I think we're about to hit 500 subscribers, so thank you again. And we do have big plans and big things up for the future, guys. A lot of ideas we want to push out, so please stay tuned to Lorcana Goons.
Yeah, look, the Goons in the Discord gave us another card called Charge. Very interesting. Check that out. Okay, we'll go over that later though. Thank you, Goons. We will see you, Goons, next time.